This video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. There is always a risk when investing in the stock market. These videos are never a suggestion to buy or sell any specific stock. It is always advised to do your own research and to keep learning more and more about any strategies used in these videos. Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. You guys aren't going to believe this, but I got so excited to do our first video that I actually forgot to hit record. So I'm going to try to narrate as best I can over this video because it is the first one and I wanted to make sure that we see how this is done. So I was originally going to start this in January, the first week of January, but stimulus checks got passed. So we are going to go ahead and buy some stocks today and go ahead and sell calls. So we can see that the account value is at 6,000. We're going to hover over trade, go to stocks and ETFs. So the first stock that we're going to buy today is Nano Dimensions. And we're going to buy, the quantity is going to be, let's do 200. And we want to sell a market. Well, what we want to do is we want to, in order to sell in the pre-market in the extended hours, at least on Central Time, is between 6 a.m. and 8:30. So in order to sell that, you have to do a limit order. That's the only way. So we're going to do a limit order, and the price of Nano Dimensions is, the bid price we can see is $7.82. So we want to make sure we set it, at least that amount or above to make sure that it gets filled. So we'll set this limit price, and in the extended hours you have to set it a couple above normally. So we want to set a limit of, see where it says 782. We want to set this at 785. So we're setting it a couple of cents above, and we want to, okay, so there's no, you have to do extended hours, and so we're going to go up here to trade and click on extended hours. Okay, so you have to make sure you're on extended hours because they're going to let you know that if it's not open, they're letting you know that it could substantially, the price can change. So we'll go back to Nano Dimensions. And we're going to buy, we're going to do 200. We are in extended hours now, so this should work. And it is actually, the prices went down a little bit. The prices went down. We can see right there the bid is showing 778, and it's actually a little bit lower than that right now. And I use Robinhood. I just like it. It's fast and quick. I use it to see the prices, and I'll probably show you guys that when I'm doing mine. So we're going to set this at 775. It actually dropped. Right now it's sitting at 772. So we're going to set 778 because it's actually lower than the price it is right now. And this is pre-market. So from here we will review the order, and we're going to click on review order. Okay, so it shows us that this is pre-market. We hit submit and it shows us the order was received, and it's just telling us Nano buy 200 with the limit of 778. So we go into accounts. We're going to hover over position or hover over accounts and go back to our positions, and we can see that we did buy this, that it is showing in our account. So we have 200 shares showing in our account. So we're going to buy, let's look at another stock to buy. We can see that our balance is $5,125 after we bought Nano. That's our new cash balance. So we're going to go back up to trade, and then we'll go to stocks and ETFs. Let's look at Ford Motor Company. It's sitting at 892. It's actually at 896 right now. So we're going to buy a quantity. Let's just do 100 on Ford. And since it's sitting at 896, oh, I did that again. I think I need to go back to extended hours. You got to do extended hours. So I'm going to go back to extended hours. So we're buying, oh, I wish we could add enough for Facebook. Not right now, but we will. So we're buying Ford. We're going to do 100 shares. Oh, let's do 200 shares. And we're going to do a limit of, it's at 896 right now. So we're going to do 2 cents above at 898. It'll still buy it if it's at 896. That's what I like about Charles Schwab. The limit is going to give you the price, whatever it is at the time. You know, Robinhood and some other apps, when I've done that, it's giving me exactly what I set it at, even though it was at 896. Y'all kind of watch that if you're on those apps. So we review this order. It lets us know it is pre-market trading, and we submit the order, and the order was received. So we'll go back to the account summary or the positions to make sure that it bought it, and it did. 200 shares. Ford at, see, the price is 886. That's the current price. We hover over, we can see we got it at 893. Even though we set it at 898, we got it at 893 because that was the price at the time. And our new cash balance now is $3,339. So let's buy some more stock. We're going to hover over accounts. We're going to go to stocks and ETFs, extended hours. Let's make sure we get to extended hours. And this time, let's look at, we're going to do GoPro. GoPro is sitting right at $8.50. So this may not fill right away because I don't really want it. I want to sell the 850 call. I don't want to go above it. So we're going to do 100 quantity at a limit price of $8.50. Sometimes when you do it right at that price, it won't get filled. So we'll see. This is pre-market. We review the order. GoPro buy 100 shares at $8.50 pre-market only. That's another thing. If the limit doesn't hit in pre-market, then it's not going to execute and it'll cancel that order. So if you are going to work, make sure that you check that. So see, it didn't get filled here. It doesn't show GoPro. So we had 3,339. The GoPro was $850. So we got about $2,400 left to work with. That's one thing I wish Charles Schwab would do, would take out that value when it's pending, when the order's pending. So let's look at, we're going to do Carnival Cruise Line. So Carnival Cruise Line is sitting at about $21.42. We're going to buy 100. And let's do, we can see $21.42 right here in the bid. Let's, to make sure we get filled, we'll set this at, whoops, it's not 24. Let's set this at $21.45. So it's a few cents over. We want to make sure, I always make sure at least my positions get filled before I leave to work. So Carnival Cruise Line, buy 100 shares, and order is received. So now that we have, and we can see GoPro did get filled at $8.50. We can see that now. It's now showing up. Cost basis $8.50 a share. So we got all of our stocks now. Siri we had last week. It'll show up for a day or two and then it will drop off. We successfully spent all of our money. We have $346 left. So I want to get into selling calls on these now. So, you know, you got to go to work. You're not going to have time to do this. So we're going to preset this. We made sure that we had our positions, that they are showing in our account. So now we need to make sell the calls, and I'll probably do all market calls just to make sure they get filled, because especially if you don't have a lot of time, this is good time to make sure that this gets done. You can set all of this, go to work, you don't have to worry about it that day, and you'll be good to go. So again, all of our positions, Carnival Cruise Line, Ford GoPro, everything that we bought is showing in our account now. We know that we have it, and we can start selling calls on these. So we want to make sure we know our cost basis. It's $21.42 first. So we're going to click on this little arrow over here on the right. See, cost basis $21.42. We're going to click the down arrow on the right, and then we're going to go to options chain. So we want to sell options on all of these positions that we currently have. So we checking the price, $21.42, and here we go, options chain. Go down to options chain, and this is going to open up. It's telling us that it is Carnival Cruise Line. This is good because it goes straight to the one that you want, and we want to make sure that we're selling this at a week out. So we're going to check, and our cost basis was $21.42, so we know we need at least the $21.50. So we check, make sure it is a holiday. So it says Thursday, but it's always Fridays, unless a special occasion, something like this on the holiday, that it'll have a Thursday there. So this is a short week. So we go down to $21.50. We want to make sure that we're above our cost basis. And if this was a tax account, you may not be selling this close to in the money calls, but this is a Roth IRA. There's no tax consequences. So we're going to go to $21.50, and then we're going to hit the trade button over here on the left. So once we find our call, strike, we're looking at the date and the strike. 1 week out, the strike is $21.50, which is above our cost basis. And then we're going to click trade. And what I really want to focus on here is that you're teaching yourself how to learn how to read this, right? That's one of the main things. No matter which broker account you're on, if you understand how to read this, then you can get this. And understand, think of us kind of like a market, right? We're at a market and we're in the booth. We want to sell. So, and this is the part we really need to learn. If you can learn this, you'll know, right? So we're selling Carnival Cruise Line, expiration date of December 31st. We're selling the $21.50 call. And again, think of this as like a flea market. We're open for business. We're in the booth, right? We want to sell. We're selling the coupons to the people that's coming in. You are a merchant, right? You're a merchant. You're not a buyer. So don't get this confused. Make sure that you always sell to open. So we want to sell to open. If you hit buy on this, then you're liable. So we're going to sell to open one contract, right? We have 100 shares equals one contract. We want to sell one contract. We're just going to do market order. You know, if this depends on the person, you know, you can do limit. It's up to you if you want to try to get a little bit more out of it. If you set a limit order, the bid right now is at 41, so we're getting $41. If you think this stock is going to go up to say $22, then that bid is actually going to go up and you can get maybe 45. So you could set a limit for like 0.45 and get more money for it. I don't care, like, for you, do your own thing. For me, we're just about making sure that this executes because we're busy. You know, we got to go to work, we got to get things done. So we want to make sure that this executes. So we're just going to sell a market order for $41. So it's telling us right here on the estimated amount what we will receive for that. And this could substantially change depending on, since we are in pre-market hours, depending on what it opens at, it could be less or lower. So we'll hit the review and it tells us we're selling. It's always good to read this, guys. Selling the call. We got to check these two boxes to make sure we understand that this price, it could be substantially different. and you know, it's gonna, since the market isn't open, it says number 4 here, the market's closed, that this order will be placed in the next trading day, which is in about an hour and a half. If you did set a limit order and it doesn't execute, then this order would cancel. So it tells us that our order is received. Again, sell to open 1 Carnival Cruise Line, December 31st at $21.50. Sell to open Carnival Cruise Line, December 31st is the expiration. It's the $21.50 strike price. That's your strike price. And we're selling the call. And this is going to be an at market. Almost 99% of the time, at markets get filled. And again, if you're busy, you want to make sure that this gets filled. The main thing is we want to make sure our securities are in here. So we'll go down the line. We'll go to the next one, which is Ford. On Ford, we have 200 shares. We're going to click the down arrow and go to options chain. And our cost basis on Ford, we know was below $9. So we got to find, again, we're selling the 1 week call, $9 strike price. We can get about $6. We'll hit trade. And we want to make sure, again, always read this. We're selling Ford. We're selling the call in 1 week. Expires on the 31st, the $9 call. And, you know, this is why I want people to understand. Now, I bought 200 out so I can show you guys, you know, if you want to buy 2 contracts, if you want to sell 2 contracts. So we're going to sell to open. Like, remember, we're a market. We're the merchant. We're selling these coupons. We're trying to collect money from selling these coupons. We can see that the bid is $6, so that's what you'll receive. There's 1 quantity, but you can double this. So we have 200 shares. So if we sell 2, so let's look at this. You get $6 a week, right? Every week. That's what you're going to be getting for about $1,000. That's about average. So $6 a week will come out to $24. But if you have 2 shares, you know, you save up your money, you keep saving it, and then you buy another 100. You could slowly be buying these. So once you get to another 100, you'll have 200. Now you'll be getting $12 a week. Every week, $12, $12. We just essentially doubled it. And this will come out to $48 a month now. And if you had, say, 3 contracts, you know, you keep buying and buying, then you'll get $18 a week. And then if you keep doing that, you'll get $24 a week. And at this point, you're at about $100 a month. So $100 a month, and this is how you can constantly be, you know, building your wealth. So we'll change this to 2, since we have 200 shares. And remember, we're going to do a market order, and we can see how the estimated amount changed to $12. Just like in the example before, it's doubled. So we'll replace this order, review it, and minus the commissions, you know, there's 35 cents or 65 cents per contract. So we'll move down to GoPro. Now GoPro, we did end up getting it at $8.50, but this is one maybe I can show you guys, even if it was a little bit higher, you know. So we'll go to the options chain, click the down arrow, options chain. So we're looking at $8.50 now. We're getting $21 for this $8.50 call. Now, if this stock and I really wanted it was, say, $8.51, $8.52, or even $8.55, right? We'll still get $21 for the $8.50 call, but since we bought it at $8.50, if we would have bought it at $8.55 and sold $8.50 call, we would have lose $5 from the sale of it. But that means we would still get $16. We would make $16. maybe hopefully this will be one that I could show you guys in the future videos so you can understand this. But right now, just understand $8.50. We bought it at $8.50. We're not going to make any capital gain because we're going to sell it at $8.50, but we are going to make the $21. So we'll sell the open, one contract, 100 shares at market. Next, we'll move on to Nano Dimensions. Go to the options chain. We bought 200 of these also, so we can sell 2 contracts. Our cost basis is $7.73 a share. Make sure you always know your cost basis before you go to the options chain. So $7.73, we're going to look, make sure that, so this one doesn't have a weekly call on it. Some stocks don't. This one is about 3 weeks out. So we have to sell the 3-week out call, and we're going to sell the $10 call, and we get $96. And the upside on this, what you would make, $150. So we're going to sell, look at this. If we have, right, there's 3 weeks out on this one, but we're getting $96. So $96, if you think about that, if we took that $96 on forward, we're getting $6 off of about $900. On this one, we're getting $96. We take that, we divide it by 3, that's $32 a week versus $6 a week from forward. And we're only paying $881 versus $900. So that's a pretty big difference. And on top of that, we don't have to do the work the next couple of weeks. It's already set. So if you look at it that way, it's definitely the better deal. It kind of depends on the company and what you believe in those companies. I was going to do all Nano Dimension, but I wanted to make sure I could show you guys the different things that you can do in the different stocks that you can do. So, and we get to do 2 of these. So $96 times 2, and it saves us those 3 weeks. So we're going to sell a market order, and it didn't do anything. That's because we need to make sure we sell to open. Remember, we're merchants, we're selling. So, that's $192 in 1 week. Basically, if you split that, there's 2, it'll have been $64 a week for 3 weeks guaranteed. That's money that we already have. So guys, this is kind of, I apologize for the narration. I hate that, I did a lot of work and then just, you forget to turn your mic on. So, and usually I check all of that ahead of time. So I will come back to this video as soon as the market opens and show you guys how all of this is executed. Okay guys, the stock market is now open. So let's look at this. We're going to hover over accounts, and we're going to go over to history. And we can see that our trade details, we did sell the Carnival Cruise Line call 2150. We got $46.35 for it. We sold the Ford at $9 call. We received $12.67. The Nano Dimensions we sold. They split this up. Sometimes they'll put it in 2, but we sold 1 here. We got $59.35, and we sold 1 here. We got $59.35, and GoPro we sold and we got $25.35, and you can see our buys from earlier this morning. So we're going to enter this into our tracker that we'll be using every week. So lining this up with our stock tracker, we have the date. These are all sell to open. Symbols. We have Carnival Cruise Line, Ford, Nano, and GoPro, which is Carnival Cruise Line, Ford, Nano. And Nano, I put a quantity of 2 instead of separating those as individuals. And GoPro, here. This expires 12/31. Nano is 1/15. All the other ones are 12/31. And we can see that here, right here, with Nano, January 15, 12/31. The strike price is $21.50, $9, $10, and $8.50. That's $21.50, $9, $10, and $8.50. And there's one GoPro, there's one Nano here, one Nano there. That's 2 Nanos, 2 Ford, and 1 Carnival Cruise Line, which is 1. Ford was actually 2. And then if we move over, we can see for Carnival Cruise Line, these fees, let's do this. Carnival Cruise Line, we got $47. Ford, we got $14. The Nano, we got a total of $120. And then for GoPro, we got $26. And our fees, .65, 1.33, 0.65, and 0.6. Well, we had 2 Nanos, so this would have been 120. That's $1.30, and this one will be 0.65. And let me fix this calculations on the amount. Okay, so for Carnival Cruise Line, we got $46.35, $12.67 for Ford, $118.70 for Nano, and $25.35. And you can see that $46.35, $12.67. Nano, we got $59.35 times 2, so $118.70 and $25.35. So we're good there. Okay, so I'm going to go to account summary, and we can see our value is $6,773.04. So Melanie's total 6,773.04. So we made $101.65 today. So first Monday, $101.65. So guys, I appreciate you watching this. If you found value, I would appreciate a thumbs up. My video will be coming out either later today or tomorrow for my account. Both of these accounts will be combined in the future. It's just to explain it took so long that I had to separate them. So we didn't do too bad today. We got $35,756 left to go. Again, if you found value, I would appreciate a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can follow our journeys to 50K in our Roths.